Good morning. It is summertime. We're mid-July already, and I'm out here in my food forest doing what I call chop, drop, and mow. And essentially what I'm doing here is maintaining the food forest, but I'm also depositing biomass for soil accumulation, soil building. And I'm doing that by chopping down with some shears. Anything actually. I've got weeds here, and that's okay. I'm kind of just mowing them and chopping them and using the biomass. But I'm basically coming in, doing a bit of hand weeding still early in these beds. Once my sort of ground cover starts to take over, and it'll be the clover that'll take over, and that'll be fine. That's what I want. I'll just be mowing. I won't be pulling weeds. But at this point, I'm still pulling weeds a bit, and I'm coming through and doing some weeding. Then I'm pruning down, really in this case with the food forest at the stage that it's at right now, also based on the types of plants that I planted here. The only thing I'm chopping and dropping right now are my green alder trees, shrubs basically. They're my S1, we call them. They're the supports. They're the support species 1, and this tree, along with the caragana, this one, which was a plug, and this was a potted plant. I got a smoking deal on these, so I bought them all. And it's okay. It just means that they're getting chopped before these are. I won't be really chopping these maybe until the end of the season. At the end of the year, maybe I'll top them, but maybe not. So I'm coming through and just chopping things down, throwing it on the ground, and then I'm driving over it with my BCS. And it's giving me a nice, it's cool because I'm not irrigating. The only thing I'm irrigating here is the drip line on the trees, except right now. I'm actually, right after I mow, and actually I watered it last night to soften it up because I did my chop and drop yesterday, and then I watered everything with overhead, and I have 2 types of irrigation on this system. I got wobblers every, 12 feet, no, 20 feet, and then I've got drip along the line of the trees. But so I watered it last night after I chopped and dropped, and now I'm running over it with my BCS brush mower. I wish I had a flail mower, actually. A flail mower would be such a better job for this. So I might have to get one for the BCS because I'm realizing now this would be perfect. But anyways, yeah, now I'm mowing over it, and I'm just building this soil up. And it's going quite well. So why don't we do a little update on this food forest, this syntropic food forest. This will be a quicker video. I did a longer video on this not too long ago. If you go back in my video history, you'll see that. But let's do a little refresher and kind of how this whole system works, because I'm loving this. I'm loving straight lines. I'm loving having a tree every 25 centimeters. It makes when I'm weeding it, because I was just getting covered in chickweed, and it just completely smothered out all the little trees, all my elms, not all of them, but my honey locusts, my mulberries, and my caraganas, just totally smothered them out. So having everything in a line is good and predictable. I also have flagged every single tree with the type of tree that it is. This is a goji berry that looks like it's not going anywhere. It might though still. Goji berry. And I don't always label these green alders or the caraganas because there's so many of them. But yeah, quick refresher on this whole system. You'll see these flags in the bed here. And so this food forest is a 1/4 acre total in just area around it all. And I've terraced this area, and I did this a couple years ago, and then or was it last year I did it? No, I didn't do it. Whatever. I did it last year, the year before, but I just planted it this spring. And the food forest are all in a straight line, and it's in metric. You could just convert this to feet. Approximately 25 centimeters is about a foot. I think 30 centimeters is technically a foot, but it's close. So it's a 6-meter pattern. And at the front of the pattern, we have the emergent, the tallest trees, and they're not always that way. Sometimes they're just normal trees, but technically we have 2 types of trees. We have tall emergent trees, and then we just have normal fruit trees. And the tall emergents split up the pattern every 6 meters. So there's a tall emergent there. Halfway through the pattern, there's a shorter tree. And at the end of the pattern, there's another tall emergent tree. And so on and so forth. It repeats. So I have tall emergent trees. That's my first type of tree at the end of the patterns, the end of the pattern. And then I have the second fruit tree in the center. And then the second type, or the third type of plant I have in here are my fruiting shrubs. And they are halfway, no, where are they here? They are, there's two of them. They're basically every meter. There's a fruiting shrub every single meter, except for there's a tree. So it's tree, fruiting shrub, tree, fruiting shrub, tree. That's every meter. And then my fourth type of plant or tree are my S1s, and then the fifths are S2s, and the sixth are S3s. So I have 6 types of trees here and a ton of varieties in between. All the fruits, the stone fruits and things like that you can imagine for Canada. I've also got pawpaws in here, a bunch of different types of apples. Pears are my tall emergent trees. Cherries, plums, cherry plums. I think that's it. I couldn't do apricots and I couldn't do peaches. And then my fruiting shrubs, I've got no raspberries or blackberries in here. I've got those in another area because they creep too much. So I've got hascaps, sea buckthorns, bush cherries, currants, gooseberries, Saskatoon berries, just to name a few. There's probably more. And then, so then on my S1s, they're all caraganas and green alders. So these are the green alders, and these are what I'm chopping down. And the caraganas aren't there yet, but they're both nitrogen fixers. So those are my S1s. They're going to be gone. They'll be removed in 3 years. Then my S2s are my elms. This is a poplar. Here's an elm. And then I've got willows, laurel leaf willows. Those are my S2s. They will be gone after 6 years or at 6 years. And then my S3s, I've got 2 types, honey locusts and mulberries. And the honey locusts and mulberries are halfway between each tree. So they're basically at 1.5 meters. And those will be there till the end. Those will be gone at 10 years. And then after 10 years, all that will be left are the trees and the fruiting shrubs in a highly mature system where I've basically just deposited carbon into the soil every single year. And right now in summer, it's every 2 weeks. I got to come in and mow. But yeah, that's kind of where the food forest is at. It's doing great. You know, we could just do a little bit of a walkabout here and check it out. These elderberries are doing great. That's one of the fruiting shrubs here. Oh, another fruiting shrub I have is hazelnut. And I didn't put any of my nut trees in this system either because it just didn't make sense. They were too big, and I've got other places that I want to put them. So there's no nuts here except hazelnut. But yeah, so I'm mowing it down. It's looking pretty good. You know, my access is tight in here because of just the way this has been built. If I had, you know, limitless resources, or maybe it's a project I could do in the future, is I would make these terraces bigger by creating a concrete retaining wall that could go up so that there's just more flat surface area that I could freely move this machine around better. And then it would be a little bit faster to do this. But no, it's going along well. And as you know, I'm going to water overhead one more time, and then actually I'll probably overhead water a little bit more, just to help break down all that carbon that I just smashed up. Because if I just let it dry up, the soil won't benefit it from as much. If I let it rot down, it'll decompose faster into the soil, and so that's the idea there. But yeah, folks, that is the food forest, and I'll see you in another one.